Yo, welcome back, guys. We're going to talk about the Talia Al Ghul Showdown. If you have not completed this yet, and this is going to be your first run at either level 30 gear or level 40 gear, I'm going to give you some tips, a couple tricks to help you get through this a lot easier. Of course, you don't have to finish this one first. You could go in order of showdown, and you could do heroic assault to build up your gear levels. But if you do complete the Talia Al Ghul Showdown first, you get level 60 gear, an entire set for all 4 characters. So there are certainly some benefits, but there are also some drawbacks. And if you're curious what those are, go in the description, check the showdown video that I made before, just so you can know everything that happens once you complete this. This is also a fantastic farm for nth metal. So if you really need nth metal, you get 3,000 nth metal every time you complete this, and you can complete it anywhere from 10 minutes and under, especially once you get the level 60 gears. So that's also certainly another benefit. If I forget anything, please let me know in the comments. Now, of course, there are different strategies and different characters that you can use. This particular one that we're going to talk about today is using Nightwing, because that's just the character that I have the most success with. And like I said, you could do this with level 30 or level 40 gear. And the gear that I use is certainly easily obtainable. So when you go into this, you can certainly pick up this gear. And so these are the 3 pieces that I used. First off, we got the Link suit. Now, the reason why I did Link suit is because the damage that Talia Al Ghul does is concussive. So I put on the Link suit so I could get that concussive resistance and momentum generation. I really like this one as far as this particular activity, and just the benefits that it has for the activity. And both cryogenic on the sticks and the darts, because the weakness of Talia is cryogenic. And so that certainly makes the elemental damage when you do the boss battle certainly a lot more. Now, she isn't resistant to any elemental damage, so you can certainly use any elemental damage, but cryogenic certainly does the best. Now, with the mods, I added all elemental buildup on my weapons, and as far as the suit goes, I added just a couple for the elemental resistance, and then the other one was for defense and health. So now let's just jump into the actual showdown fight, and we could talk about all of the things that I've learned, all the tips that I can hopefully give you and help you with so you can complete this. And of course, this is just pretty much going to apply to Nightwing for the most part. Some of it's going to apply to other characters, like this right here, using crouch dodge. Don't underestimate crouch dodge. Is probably the easiest way to get around and away from Talia. But one of her main attacks, which is that bow and arrow, she sits in one single spot. You can hear the sound of the buildup go up like a and when it gets towards the end, she's going to shoot in a straight line. And so as long as you dodge left to right facing her, meanwhile, most of your attacks are going to be ranged attacks. You're going to want to stay away from her as much as possible and just constantly tap that Y button. Just a single ranged attack. And when she jumps around and tries to attack you, I tend to dodge in somewhat of a square. And so like I'll dodge to the right, then I'll dodge up, then I'll dodge left, and then I'll dodge back. And a lot of times that works quite often because she has kind of lunge attacks when it comes to how you want to attack. Use cryogenic right there because you want to freeze her. When she freezes, then you can run up and use one of your momentum abilities, which is always really nice and very helpful to use. So most of the time, and with Nightwing, I don't always use crouch dodge, but here's where you get the most damage. When she jumps into the Lazarus pit, you're going to use your pounce. Right after she uses her pounce, she is going to kneel down and crouch. And so you're going to run up to her and do this single attack Y momentum attack, which does heavy damage. And depending on how much momentum, ability, energy you have, once you do the pounce when she's in the Lazarus pit, she's going to recharge energy and recharge health when she's in that Lazarus pit. And so you have to get her out there. And so at least for using Nightwing, the easiest way to do that is use that pounce attack, that RB and then tap A. It'll attack her, she'll fall down out of the Lazarus pit. She won't gain health, and then you run up to her and push RB and then Y, and it does a single attack. It knocks her down again. And so then you could do it again and again and again. You could do it as many times as you have the momentum energy for. So that's where most of the damage is going to come from. In between those, you're pretty much going to try to stay away from her as much as possible. Use your Y attacks. Here, it's very useful as well to either run around when she, throws out those, I don't know, grenade type of things. And, or you can use crouch dodge. When crouch dodge, you cover a lot more ground when you use that. She's in the Lazarus pit right now. I'm going to run over there. I'm going to use the pounce. She's going to jump out of the Lazarus pit. She's still knocked down. Then I'm going to use the Y again. I'm going to go over again, use the Y again, momentum ability. I ran out of momentum energy, so I couldn't keep doing it. But if I had 4 full bars, I could just hit her, and hit her again. And so she alternates between these attacks. This is only the first round. And if you haven't done this before, there's 2 separate rounds of battles, I guess. The first battle until you drain all of her health and basically kill her or knock her out. And then you got to do the whole thing again in which she has a different weapon, which the second time is going to be a little bit more challenging. But like I said, if you use Nightwing, see these crouch dodges, look how much ground you can make up and get out of the way when you use crouch dodge. I use the regular dodge as well when you're just holding down B, just because he gains momentum when he does that. And so that's always very useful to be able to get some of the momentum. So I alternate between, one or the other. And as far as those darts that she throws, when she throws those 3 rounds where she goes out and out and out, dodging left, right, left, or right, left, right is usually the best way to do it. For me personally, it usually catches me off guard almost every single time when I do the dodges. So most of the time I get hit with the first one and then have to dodge in the opposite direction. Sometimes, you're moving and she throws the darts, but that's the hardest one to dodge, at least for me. All of these is usually never a big deal. You just dodge out of the way, keep throwing the darts. And then when she starts to do those attacks, you're going to dodge kind of, like I said, in a square. But there's the first round. We got the first round down. Now she has this long spear. Now, the long spear is a lot more difficult to dodge. She has 2 separate attacks. One where she twirls it around, and these all come in sequence. And so when she's twirling it around in the beginning, you're going to want to dodge back. But then after she does the twirl, then she lunges at you, and then you're going to want to do the left or right dodge. Sometimes, or a lot of times, most of the time, it is really hard to dodge all of the attacks. And so right there, she does a lunge, she twirled, she lunged. And so the twirls can only be evaded if you dodge back. The lunges can be evaded if you dodge left and right. She also has this same bow and arrow thing that she does on both sections, the first one and the second one. Keep using the ranged attacks, the single ranged attacks with the cryogenic. She freezes. And once she freezes, this time though, she kind of goes into the air. She went into the Lazarus pit. We do our jump. She's just laying there. Do 1 hit. Do another hit. Do another hit. Do another hit. And so you can keep doing that and take off almost 100,000 damage or 100,000 health just by catching her with the pounce, and then while she's on the ground, she doesn't get up for whatever reason. But when she does go into the air, that one section in which she floats in the air, if you keep doing ranged attacks, she's going to swoop down and she's going to do a circle. And so you can't be too close. You got to remember to dodge backwards and not left and right when it comes to those particular attacks. And the other attack is just basically the same thing with the spear, just like with in the first round where she does a twirl, a lunge, a twirl, and a lunge, which is kind of why I tend to dodge in somewhat of a square. Just because with the lunge attacks, it's locked to a wherever your last location was. And so dodging left and right, she will miss every single time, as opposed to front and back, because it's a very long distance in which she can cover. But other than that, that's pretty much the best strategy, at least that I have found with Nightwing when it comes to facing Talia. Now, with level 40 gear, you can get this done pretty easily. I have not tried it on level 30 gear yet because, well, I've already finished it. And when I did finish it the first time when I was level 30 before I started New Game Plus, there was that glitch in which she would get locked into a particular side of the wall and then she wouldn't move. They did fix that and patch that with one of the updates. But she got locked in the corner, and that's how I beat her the first time, is she got locked on like a rock and wouldn't move and didn't do anything. And so I just continually just hit her and hit her and hit her until she finally died. So at level 30, I really didn't even get the chance to do this. There are those darts again. Like, those darts are probably the hardest thing to dodge, just because she always seems to catch me off guard. But if you can remember left, or right, left, right, she alternates between, you know, which one she does. So you just always got to watch the first one and then dodge the opposite or the same direction for the second one, because they usually get hit with the first one, and then dodge in the same direction for the second one. She's frozen again, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And just with level 40 gear, I can get it done in, I think this run right here was probably my best run, close to 10 minutes only. In the Lazarus pit again, right in the middle, she is down, hit. Then we're gonna try to hit her again. We're gonna run up to her, hit her again. We're gonna run up to her, hit her again. And so we used all of our momentum energy right there, and it pretty much killed her. But either way, that's how I beat Talia. And like I said, I did this first, as opposed to doing Heroic Assault or any other showdown. I got the level 60 gear, and then I did everything else. But like I said at the start, there is consequences in doing that, because it does affect a lot of your blueprints and other things like that. So keep that in mind. But hopefully this helped and maybe got you through the Talia mission just a little bit faster. 3,000 nth metal every time you do this. Once you equip level 60 gear, you can run through it in 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 3,000. That's a lot of nth metal to farm, and I've done this 5, 6, 7 times, and it does 3,000 every time. But either way, though, I think the strategy is pretty simple and can be applied for any character. Use range attacks. I think other obvious good characters for ranged would be Red Hood and Robin. Use cryogenic. Wait for the freeze, big ability attacks. When she's in the Lazarus pit, you gotta hit her and gotta hit her out of it. Otherwise, she will regen health, and then it's just gonna take forever to be able to get it. Crouch dodge certainly helps a lot with all characters, covers tons of ground, very easy to, not very easy, but it's a lot more efficient to dodge all of her attacks using crouch dodge, because it just covers so much ground. And if you're using Nightwing, you kind of want to mix up regular dodge so you can get momentum. And then when she's in the Lazarus pit, at least for Nightwing, use the pounce. She falls over, and then just ability, and she'll be dead. You know, she'll be knocked out before you know it. But that's going to do it. Hopefully this helped and helps you get through this, you know, if you're struggling with it. But I'll see y'all next time. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up. I'm out. Peace.